Welcome back into the Cowboys Report. I am Tom Downey. Today we're going to react to what Colin Cowherd had to say about Dak Prescott. You guys know how everybody tends to feel about Colin Cowherd. I think his comments about Dak will surprise you in a good way this time around. Before we get into that, I want you guys to grade Dak Prescott this season. How do you feel he has played through 5 games for the Cowboys in this new look organizational offensive structure, I'll call it? A, B, C, D, or F? Let me know in the comments of today's show. We'll get into a bunch of the quotes from Cowherd. The main points that he made was he considers Dak one of the top MVP favorites. He thinks he is underappreciated right now. He is the best version of himself. He's doing more with less. I'm borrowing the phrase from Jerry there. And oh, by the way, he is a winner. Kind of feels like Cowherd and general national media doing the whole switch-up thing again. How it's negative, and then, oh, he's actually playing great. And then as soon as he loses a game, oh, he's terrible again. Like, was he overrated? Or was you just kind of being a bit of a hater in the end? Like, which one is it truly? There are reasons to not have Dak as the best QB in the NFL, whatever, but, like, he's playing super well. And I don't think all of what Cowherd said, as we'll get into, is quite accurate. There are a couple elements of, like, not quite true fully, but my big point is this. The overall message from Cowherd was positive, and national media tends to be a decent barometer for how a player is being viewed in general. I think the general takeaway on Prescott this year is he is playing some of his best football, although I'd argue we've also seen it before. We just tend to get brain rot and forget about it when he has a down game or 2 in a row, and we just ignore the large sample size of success, which Cowherd actually does mention, by the way. We'll get to his quotes, but I want you guys to rank Dak Prescott among NFL QBs right now, as in just this season, which means you're probably going to have Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones higher than you normally would, especially what it was going into the year. So only this season. Where do you rank Dak among NFL QBs? Let me know in the comment section of today's show. First up from Cowherd, it says this version of Dak Prescott is the best version we have seen, and that he now thinks Dak is being underappreciated. This is one of several lengthy quotes from Cowherd. I'll go quick. It says, when Dak broke into the league, Zeke was a great running back. The O-line, Tyron Smith, Zack Martin, was the best O-line in a decade in the NFL. Dak got a lot of credit and didn't have to do the heavy lifting. He was a little overrated. Now this Dak is not getting enough credit. They don't have a number 1 receiver currently. The offensive line is still in a rebuild mode. Running game is okay. The staff is fine. The defense is last in the league. Guys like Dak Prescott, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, they're all smart guys, but they have reached another level of football IQ. Dak's gone from a little overrated to now underappreciated. There's a lot that's right there. I do think the football IQ stuff, especially as it relates to Dak Prescott, is spot on. This is a guy that is reading out his defenses properly, that has always had a high level. Go watch how much checks and adjustments Dak Prescott does at the line versus like a younger QB who maybe doesn't have the same level of expertise and knowledge. He's consistently setting his players up for success, the supporting cast around him. He's got complete mastery right now. In the same way, we kind of saw the best version of Tony Romo before the injuries. We're seeing the best version of Dak Prescott right now, where he's elevating his game, elevating his supporting cast. I would argue you probably can give a little bit more credit to maybe some of the staff, and the O-line is in a rebuilding mode. I do agree with that. You know, they do have George Pickens. I don't think that should be ignored necessarily. I'd also argue Dak was dealing on third downs as a young player, and that often gets lost in translation because the O-line and run game were good. But Dak was one of the best third down QBs back then. But he is, right this second, playing at an extremely high level. So I agree with Cowherd. Now, today's show is made possible by Chubbies. We all agree fall should be cozy, not constricting. And Chubbies delivers peak softness without sacrificing an ounce of style. So go ahead, break up with stiff and uncomfortable pants and embrace the fun side of fall. Comfy, casual, and built for life, Chubbies also has their original stretch shorts that can live on your legs. Whether you're rocking their new Everywhere jogger, the original stretch shorts, or something else in between, make sure you pair them with a Chubbies Performance Polo so you are good to go. Whether it's a brunch, backyard party, or accidentally crashing a wedding, Although hopefully it's not a Saturday fall wedding, because why would you crash that? With a structured collar that stays sharp, 4-way stretch for comfort, and breathable, moisture-wicking fabric, this polo keeps you cool and looking pulled together. It's wrinkle-resistant as well, which is perfect because, let's be honest, who irons? It's 2025. Whether you're layering up for tailgates, lounging through lazy Sundays, or just leaning into fully fall comfort, Chubbies has you covered for a limited time. They're giving you 20% off your order with the code CHATSPORTS at chubbyshorts.com/chatsports. That's code CHATSPORTS at chubbyshorts.com/chatsports. Link will be in the comment section and the description of today's show. Support the show and show your thighs some respect with Chubbies. Dak's numbers this year in 2025, the 4 TDs he had against the Jets, kind of, I think, better representing how he is actually playing this year, despite having some drops, despite having some George Pickens pass that gets dropped and picked off because that's just how sometimes bad luck goes in football. The drops in week 1 in a game they should have won. Kevin Cole, who used to work for PFF and now does some additional data analytics stuff for football, has total expected points added, which is just how healthy is your offense, how good is your offense for the quarterbacks. This is adjusted for yards after catch, relative to expectation and stuff, down a distance, interception, drop luck, fumbles, sacks. Are you getting defensive pass interferences to help you, hurt you? The strength of schedule is a factor in there. Did you have a bad weather game? Whatever. The adjusted EPA, and there's a lot of different versions of this out there, how you want to impact things, etc. They all tend to point to the same thing. Dak's balling. Look how much, that's a total points added, 63.8. Second place is 49.8. Look at the gap you have to get to between Dak and Jared Goff to the same gap. It is unbelievable how good Dak Prescott is playing at this time. It's 2-7, has like a smaller gap significantly. And that's why Colin Cowherd also put Dak Prescott near the top of the MVP conversation. Now, in general, when it comes to the MVP side of things, who should win and who does win are two often very different things. Here's what Cowherd said. If I had an MVP vote today, I would vote Baker Mayfield 1 and Dak 2. I would give Baker because he's won more games and he's won them late, but also Baker has the better general manager, the better rookie receiver. I think the overall roster in Tampa is much better than the Cowboys roster. But this Dak, right now what you're seeing Dak Prescott do, this is the best Dak I've ever seen. First of all, I think he's lost weight, gained strength. They're missing 3 offensive linemen. Note it was 4. Sealam's top 5 receiver, doesn't have him. Running backs, kind of by committee. Okay, not special. And listen, Brian Schottenheimer deserves a lot of credit. We don't think he's Andy Reid or Sean Payton, though. So again, I'm looking at MVP right now. Again, Cowherd's not quite right about the supporting cast. I think the run game has been better than it's been in years past, frankly, and that does help, although the Cowboys are one of the most pass-happy teams in football. Some of the game script stuff in weeks 2 and even into week 4 are a factor in that, but Dak has been dealing. He has been balling. He's been hooping, frankly, this season. We'll go more in depth on this and the likelihood, but what is the percent chance you think Dak Prescott can win NFL MVP? Let me know in the comments section of today's show. What is the percent chance Dak Prescott wins MVP? I think the reality of winning MVP, not just like does he deserve to be in the conversation, is really tough. You have to be a playoff team. We have seen, you get votes, you can finish in the running, but to actually win the award with the way it's voted on, it's not really most valuable player. It's really the best quarterback on a playoff team who exceeded expectations. Like, that's how it normally goes. The current NFL MVP odds are Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, which is kind of weird since they're 2 and 3, but whatever. It's Mahomes. He gets the boost for it. Baker, Jordan Love, Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford, then Dak Prescott and Justin Herbert. It's not impossible, and if Dak and the Cowboys somehow do make the playoffs, there's going to be a lot of groundswell because the expectation was that they were not going to. And in general, when you exceed expectations, the credit tends to go to the quarterback. Now, Cowherd also had a lot of praise for Dak Prescott's ability to consistently win games in the NFL. He said, here's the other thing to remember about Dak, where he deserves a lot of credit. Everyone said when Dez Bryant left, he was in trouble. Nope. When Zeke left, he's in trouble. Tyron Smith left, Micah left, Zack Martin. All these great players have left. And every time, as long as Dak Prescott is upright, the Cowboys win double-digit games. There was a little overhyped Dak with a great O-line and a great run game. Jerry Jones at the time felt not quite as meddling. And then all of a sudden it's McCarthy, and Dak's actually putting up better numbers. And now McCarthy leaves. Brian Schottenheimer, who nobody loved. CeeDee's hurt. Mike is gone. It's a lot of C-plus players. They're still in this offensive line. And Dak looks unbelievable. Cowherd has been the victim of this too, I feel like at times. This Dak loser narrative has always been weird to me. Because this quote, that quote I should say, that Cowherd just had, is right. We can complain about the playoff stuff, that's fine. But when you have a healthy Dak, and frankly dating back to Romo as well, because it's the same, because ownership is the same, the Cowboys win. They are at least 500. They're in playoff contention pretty much every single year as long as the quarterback is healthy. And last year, they did not play well. I don't think Dak played well. I think it's clear there was some friction between McCarthy and Dak Prescott, by the way, and the Cowboys team in general. But Cowherd's right on that. For more free Cowboys YouTube videos, hit that sub button so you don't miss out. A little bit more on Dak to come here, but if you haven't already, now is the time to subscribe. Hit that sub button, youtube.com/@CowboysTV. Look, I know that everyone wants more playoff wins, and we're right to crave and desire and beg and desperately want more playoff victories. I don't like, and this is not unique to Dak, other quarterbacks deal with this too, I don't like this idea that, well, I'm going to take 95% of the sample size and ignore it and pick the 5 that aligns with what I think. We can't claim, well, someone only has so many playoff wins, therefore they're actually bad. Because that ignores even getting to the playoffs. Like, you can't sit there and tell me, oh, people were telling me this year, Geno Smith, Kyler Murray are all better than Dak Prescott because of playoff wins for Dak. Those guys don't have them either. In fact, they have fewer. So why are we dinging Dak for having few and propping up others for having 0? Doesn't make any sense to me. Look at the active starting quarterback win percentages in the NFL. This is regular season, I believe. Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Brock Purdy, Aaron Rodgers, Jared Goff, and then Dak Prescott. You know who's on this list? Falls into a couple different categories. The best teams and the best quarterbacks for the most part. / Hall of Fame quarterbacks on here. So somehow it ends up being, well, Dak is bad and the Cowboys are bad even though they win a lot of games. Doesn't really make much sense.